Well, Pellizzari looking a lot more comfortable now than he did a kilometre ago. But it's just that little moment. He sometimes just lets a little gap open up to the rider in front of him. But he's tempoed back to that okay. So he must be a little bit better than yesterday. But Ben Healy, meanwhile...
Well, yeah, meanwhile, Ben Healy's still out there, and they haven't managed to close them down, so they haven't gone full bore just yet, and it's Giulio Pellizzari that launches. Remember, starting the day 23 seconds down, 8 seconds or so down on the lead of this stage. It's Ben Healy from the EF Education Easy Post bidding for a second day in succession for the pink-clad squad, and it's Isaac del Toro that's going to have to take responsibility. A potential for... an ambush from Jorgensen and the rest behind. Isaac del Toro, they're less concerned about Healy, who started the day 8th overall, 1 minute and 24 seconds in arrears. Pellizzari gaining a little bit here, 100 seconds on the line also to be considered, and somewhat surprisingly it looks like it's Anders Halland Johansson who's come to the front to try and close this one down on behalf of his brother.
Well, the two Johanssons trying to do it, and Isaac del Toro, for me, he looks absolutely fine, but he's playing it really cool. He knows he's got a 23-second buffer on Giulio Pellizzari, so he didn't panic. It was a flatter section. It was that easier section of lower gradient, so he just was tempoing to not sort of blast across it and maybe open himself up to attacks from behind, with Jorgensen just riding in his wheel and letting the pressure fall to the others to defend their own positions as well. Ben Healy's a threat, and Pellizzari riding up the road, others riding purely for stage victory. So at the moment, Del Toro, he's just calmly sitting there in fifth wheel of this group. Pellizzari now just about to reach the wheel of Ben Healy, under a kilometre to go.
Yeah, looks in control, doesn't he? And it's Isaac del Toro who's watching with fascination as his nearest rival on general classification moves up onto the shoulder of Ben Healy. With Education Easy Post and Ireland slots in behind Pellizzari, and now the gradient will start to grip again. The finale of this sixth and penultimate stage, and he's calling for the cheers from the Matke crowd. They're cheering their local man on, potentially to glory today. Tobias Halland's pressing on, and a few little gaps starting to emerge. Roglic in front of Isaac del Toro. Del Toro needs to ride up and onto the stage at the wheel of Giulio Ciccone. Pellizzari pressing on. He's dispensed with the hopes and dreams and aspirations of Ben Healy, who's going to agonizingly ride in front of this group. But here comes Isaac del Toro, cool, calm and collected. Has he left it too late, or has he timed it to perfection? Matteo Jorgensen is right latched to the wheel of the blue jersey, but Pellizzari still has a little bit of an advantage here. There's a stage victory on offer for him today. Could there be even something a little bit more than that as Roglic becomes detached?
Pellizzari riding a wave of home support, but Del Toro has played it coolly, let others do the pacemaking across that flatter section, bided his time, waited for the steeper gradients, and now he's just standing on it, and he's cruised his way across to the wheel of Pellizzari. He has shut him down. Jorgensen's still there too, as is Ciccone in fourth position.
The perfect response, and now here
pushing.
He comes again, the blue jersey going for glory, and it's Isaac del Toro, that's his usual yellow shadow. Matteo Jorgensen able to follow for now. Is this full bore? Here comes Jorgensen himself trying to overturn a gap on general classification, and as much as anything go for a stage victory. Man who's the reigning champion, of course, of Paris-Nice, across to Italy, and 34 seconds down, third overall starting the day. Pellizzari starts to drop back after his investment, and it's the same two riders who left the GC group yesterday to finish second and third on the day. It looks as they move into the final 400 metres, they're going to contest for stage honours. Isaac del Toro on a couple of occasions already this week has been second. Will he manage to convert that into victory? We know he's got a good kick at the top of the hill, and it's Giulio Pellizzari who's going to be contesting for minor honours. The local crowd, their cheers quelled somewhat. They hadn't hoped to see a Bismillah bike or a UAE Team Emirates rider riding to glory today, but it would appear as if it's going to be one or other of these two riders. Jorgensen trying to detach himself from Isaac del Toro, but del Toro is on the wheel, and del Toro now launches as he gets side of the finish line. Tobias Halland Johansson in third place at the moment, but it's Isaac del Toro around the final bend and heading towards stage success, rubber stamping his dominance of this edition of the race between two seas. Tirreno Adriatico Well, his situation at the head of general classification is confirmed, and it's glory and victory on stage 6 for Isaac del Toro as Tobias Hallen-Johansson gets up for second, just ahead of Matteo Jorgensen. A fighting 4th place on the line for Giulio Pellizzari, giving the crowd something to cheer for as Ciccone, Buitrago, Healy and the rest flop across the finish line at the end of a really, really tough day of racing.